Miley Blossom, and we are here at Vicky's Fabrics in Kapa'a, Hawaii. I wanted to do a little demo on sewing machine cleaning. Now, this is not maintenance. This is just regular cleaning that you should be doing on a regular basis to get all the crazy lint and stuff out of your machine. One of the things I recommend is to do this cleaning on a regular basis, meaning if you sew a lot, meaning 3 to 5 hours a day, I know that's excessive, okay? This should be done every week. If you sew less, once a month, I always recommend that you actually do a yearly bring your machine into the maintenance shop to have a professional clean it out, lube it up, check your timing, check your tensions, everything, okay? At the most 2 years, you should get a professional whole machine maintenance, but this is something that you can do in your home regularly in between those maintenance visits to keep your machine running happily. Now, one of my personal rules, because I am a quilter and do primarily piecing on my sewing machines, I have the 3 bobbin rule. So that means when I am winding bobbins, I only wind 3 at a time. Okay, now as a quilter, I primarily use 1 color thread, but even if I'm doing, say, hula costumes or placemats or napkins for my shop, the most I'm gonna wind on my bobbins at one time is 3 spools, because at that point of 3 spools, I know I need to clean out my machine and change my needle. I'm very tempted to wind 4 or 5 spools, but I don't do it because I know that I got to clean out my machine. Okay, so I have a machine kit. I have a couple of brushes, I have a screwdriver, and I have a dime. I'm going to show you what the dime is for in a second. And I always have a pack of needles. I actually have this very cute box. Betsy gave it to me years ago. And I keep all my maintenance stuff in my box so that every 3 bobbins, I pull it out. I'm going to clean it out. I'm going to change my needle. Okay? So, the reason I have a dime is if you do not have enough room between your plate and your screw, or the top of your machine and your screw, to get your screwdriver in to get good leverage, you can use a dime to put into that screw to loosen it up. Okay? So that's why I have a dime in there. It is a makeshift screwdriver. You could also use a bobbin. So I have metal bobbins for my machine. I will often stick a bobbin in here, but the dime is smaller, and use my bobbin to loosen the screw before I unscrew it. So you want to loosen your screw and take up your plate. Now, one of the things you want to do is you want to clean out, actually, with your brush, the bottom of your plate as well as inside your machine. And if you look in here, it has been a while since I cleaned this. This is one of our rental machines, and you can see I have a lot of dust and fuzz in there. So I'm going to just take my brush, clean out the fuzz. I want to make sure that sometimes you need a stiffer brush. That's why I have 2 of them. You can see I'm trying to get in between the feed dogs. Look at that. Ooh, I haven't cleaned this one in a while. Like I said, this is one of my rental machines. I usually get them maintained once a year, but I need to clean them more often. Okay, so I'm going to kind of do that as the beginning. And I am also going to pull up the bobbin case. So this is what you need to do basically for any drop-in machines. Now look, I also have a piece of thread under there, you know. So this is stuff that is going to, wow, look, there's a lot of gunk. This is stuff that's going to gum up your machine. This is going to be breaking your threads. This is going to be causing all sorts of trauma if you don't get in there and clean out your machine regularly. Also, a lot of times what happens is you will hear a distinct difference before cleaning out your machine and after cleaning out your machine. Okay? So, lots of fuzz. Some people have little vacuum attachments that you put onto your vacuum cleaner that you can get in there with. Some people use canned air to get this out. I find if I do this on a regular basis, that's not such a big deal. So like I said, in a drop-in, this will come out very easily, and you slide it back in under there. Make sure it clicks properly, and then you can go ahead and replace your plate. Now at this point, I would change my needle automatically, okay? Let me show you kind of the same thing for so that's a drop-in. Let me show you kind of the same thing with this is going to be trickier, actually. Oops. This is a front loading. So I have taken off the screws. I've taken off the plate. I'm going to lose those screws. That would be bad. I'm going to get in here with my brush. One of the things I did on the other machine I'm going to do here is take off my foot so I can see what's going on. And I'm going to make sure especially that the area between the feed dogs is clean, because lint tends to gather in between the feed dogs. Okay? And then on a front loading, a lot of times you have these plastic things. This whole bobbin and bobbin set comes out. Okay? And you should be able to see this in your manual. You should be able to do this on a regular basis. This is not going to hurt your machine at all. Generally, it's really hard to hurt these machines, but I can see thread in there. I usually have a tweezer, but you know, you can get in there with your tweezer. There, I got the thread. Okay. And then you're going to carefully, I still have my bobbin in. Come on, bobbin out. Let's see, even this one's got bobbin wackiness on this. These are my classroom machines, and oh my gosh, this past summer I had the funniest experience where, like, I had kids, and boy, those kids, they're pretty tricky with their machines. I had like 4 machines go down in a day. It was hilarious. I had to like take them all apart. But once you get used to doing this, I've just put the couple of pieces back in and click them back into place. Okay. You'll be able to run your machine better and longer. Trust me. Okay. So, get used to taking your machine apart. Get used to cleaning it out on a regular basis. It makes a huge difference in the longevity and the use and purpose of your machine. I again use the 3 bobbin rule to know when to change your needle and clean everything out. And you know, if you do this again in between your regular maintenance, your machine will run better and happier and cleaner with less thread breaks, less skip stitches. Just this once a month will change your sewing. Okay? Anyway, thank you for checking in with us today. By the way, I personally am not a machine shop. This is about all I do. But I do it regularly, and it makes my machines run well. Okay? Thank you guys for joining me today. Bye-bye.